Well, good afternoon and welcome to New Craven Park, Hull, for the second round of the Silk Gut Challenge Cup. Keighley taking the field at the moment. Hull KR already on the field. Possibility of a slight colour clash this afternoon. Both sides, of course, predominantly red and white. Keighley, of course, wearing red shorts and green socks compared to the white shorts and red socks of Hull Kingston. The teams for this afternoon then: for Keighley at full-back Phil Ball, the half-backs John Vasilo, Carlton Farrell, Wayne Race and Andy Stevenson, Keith Dixon and Darren Appleby at half-back, with forwards Greg Hiley, Jason Ramshaw, Joe Grimmer, Steve Hawley and Gately and Martin Wood. Subs for Keighley, Andy Ayres and Paul Moses. And for Hull Kingston Rovers, the full-back Dave Lydiard, three-quarters Mike Bibby, Dean Clark, Rob Hutchinson and Julian Barkworth, Wayne Parker and Gary Chatfield at half-back, with forwards Wayne Jackson, Richard Chamberlain, Craig O'Brien, Paul Fletcher, Andy Thompson and Paul Speckman. The substitutes for Rovers, Gary Brown and Chris Harrison. The referee this afternoon, Mr Brian Goltis from Bradford, and his touch judges, Dougie Booth and Alan Meredith. So then we're all set to start. Keighley having won the toss, they've elected to play left to right on what resembles a ploughed field. Hull KR then just preparing to get the game underway. There's no sand in the centre for them to kick off with, so one of the substitutes just brought that sand box on. And we're actually looking now down from a very high position on this gantry as Mr Goltis from Bradford gets the game underway, down into what is an extremely deep touch in goal area. Steve Hall getting a fingertip to that, and it's a long time since Dan I've seen touching goals or try areas, call them what you want, as deep as this one.
Very deep is that, John, isn't it? It looks even worse from up here. I think Steve undervan the ball, he ran underneath it, really, instead of letting the ball come to him. That's what beat him. There again, he would try to get it before it bounced.
Rovers then 20 metres out, number 11 Fletcher taking that ball into the centre of the field. Richard Chamberlain, the hooker, operating the acting half. Andy Thompson there, 15 metres out. Keighley already having to defend their try-line areas. The run-round goes there. Chatfield over the far side to number 4, Rob Hutchinson. Hutchinson, of course, came to Hull from Halifax in the exchange deal that took Hallis over there. Looked to shade forward there, did that pass from Parker to Speckman, but it's the last one. Still 15 metres out, and it's Rovers going to run this, chip it over the top. They know what that try-line area's like, and they're going to certainly play on that. I don't know, I'd like to measure that try-line area, Del. Is there a maximum depth? I know there's a minimum, but is there a maximum?
Yeah, there is, John. It's 10 metres, and that's only 10. If you look at the 10 from the posts out, go back the same distance, it's only the same.
So then that kick deep down there to Fletcher again, tackled as he gets to the 20-metre line. Very, very full-length pitch here at Craven Park. Exactly 100 metres. And you can see that also from the markings on the field. Rovers taking the Keighley defence on in the centre there. Andy Thompson tackled 10 metres short. That's Speckman over the far side, looking to create a hole in that defence. Chatfield running across the face of play. Interception there. Jason Ramshaw almost regathered it. But I'm fairly certain. I watched the game last week against Leeds of Hull Kingston Rovers, and Chatfield certainly runs flat across the back of or across the face of play a lot, and always susceptible to an interception, I believe. This is Parker though. Ball going out, that ball being lost, and Keighley's going to regather, and we'll see Keighley in possession for the very first time. Being laid all over there by Parker. Carlton Farrell doing his best to get away. The referee shouting hell, but he's not doing too much about it. Still standing over the man is Parker. That's twice he's laid on at the tackle. Oh, and a knock on there, Jason Ramshaw. I think just having a word to say, in fact, to Greg Keighley there, Dal, it looked as though perhaps Greg Keighley had put him off that ball.
Yeah, Greg set off on dummy run, and like you say, I think saw him out the corner of his eye and put him off.
Chatfield then with that ball from the scrum again, running across the face. Out then to this side, there was a gap, the fullback joining in the line. Dave Lydiard that was. This is Clark though. No winger present. Julian Barkworth had gone inside, but it's only 5 metres from that Keighley try line as the ball goes across the face. Ball lost though in the tackle there, in fact, as Wayne Jackson had tried to offload. This is Stevie Hall coming out, and you can hear as well as we can the noise that this Keighley following is giving its favourites as Greg Keighley drives in. Well met there though by Craig O'Brien. Joe Grimmer this time. Almost to the halfway line, and so far in this game Keighley have not been in that Hull Kingston half of the field, but Carlton Farrell's feet just get there. As Phil Borlock gets the ball back to Dixon, he pumps the ball deep downfield towards Dave Lydiard, plays the ball with his foot, it's all on. John Basilou managing to catch the fullback Lydiard just as he was about to get round his outside. Keighley now need to keep some pressure on, 32 metres out from the Hull Kingston line, but it's Rovers in possession. "12 metres from the halfway line now then as Rovers put this ball across Chatfield's left boot, searches for the gap between the fullback and the winger. Stevenson was in fact up in the line. Full ball going past Wayne Parker there with consummate ease. Stevenson going on his own from acting half, driving the ball in, gets to the halfway line before being bent backwards by Paul Speckman. The referee stops play. In fact, I suspect that double over bend back tackle by Speckman might just have done a little bit of harm to Stevenson's back.
It's looking, John, it looks like his leg, as yours on looking at his leg, he might have twisted it underneath the players. Hopefully he'll be okay.
Wood then getting one of the first touches he's had in the game so far, gets to the halfway line as Ramshaw, Grimmer coming round the outside, there's no way through there for him, but he's still going, he's going to be pushed into touches, just manages to stay out as Ramshaw gets the ball inside to Appleby. Appleby goes through the gap, he's got almost had support there from Martin Wood. 30 metres out, the last tackle comes up as Dixon takes that ball on. Is he going to chip it over the top? Gets the ball out there, and it's a knock on there by Hull Kingston Rovers. And that Darrell, is a typical example, I would suggest, either of the man calling or more likely the colour clash.
Yes, I think the colour clash, John. I said as soon as I arrived here that it's a bad colour clash, this. There's too much red. And Keith, out of the corner of his eye, could have easily seen the red and let the ball go.
Quite so, but this is Dixon again. Carlton Farrell, ball out there, taken round the top there by number 5 Barkworth, right in front of the post. 10 metres out though, Dixon goes on his own. Carlton Farrell burrowing his way through those Rovers tacklers, but being driven back, still 5 metres out. Keighley all set up for a move on this right hand side as Appleby gets the ball out to Gately. The big fella takes it in, can't burst the tackle though. The Rovers defence was there in numbers. And it's Ramshaw. Ramshaw gets the ball out there, but the ball going into touch. In fact, knock on, I should say. Knock on just before Andy Stevenson got to that ball. So we've got a scrum then on the 10 metre line into the part of the back that belongs to Hull KR and out the back. Barkworth going across. Darrell, you have a comment?
Yeah, Keighley were well offside there. That ball went out the scrum. Goes forward had broken, second row had broken, and they were out level with the pack. Should have been blown up there.
15 metres out then from the Rovers line as they come forward. That's the big number 8, gets the ball out there, there's Jackson. But in fact Rob Hutchinson caught in possession by Steve Hall before he gets to the halfway line. Gets up and plays the ball out to Chatfield, across there, moving out to Parker. Parker gets the ball, they've got the numbers here of Rovers. But he's going into touches, that man is in. Oh, but he wasn't tackled either, Lydiard. The ball play allowed to go on. This is Speckman, the ball out then to the hooker. Again kept alive onto Speckman. They've got the numbers, but the Keighley tackling was absolutely superb there. Rovers should have scored, but they couldn't well score here. They've got the numbers again. But what a good tackle there by Carlton Paddle, 5 metres out. Last one coming up as Chatfield dummies. He goes, he's going to be held on his own, is he? It's a double movement, a knock-on. It was the last tackle, it must have been a knock-on over the line, Darrell.
Yeah, knock-on over the line, last tackle. So instead of a scrum, it's a turnover 10-yard out.
So there we are, we've seen what Chatfield can do. He's run across the face of play, he draws the players and creates the gap. And he went through that gap on that occasion, but I'm sure his coach, who was at the opposite end of the gantry to us, will not have been happy with his inability there to put down that ball. Ramshaw acting half-back onto Wayne Race. 20 metres from the halfway line. Ball back then for Dixon to put this left-footed downtown, but there's no wind to assist him. It hits the deck and it stops in this heavy area. Lydiard almost escaping that first tackle, but eventually stopped. Richard Chamberlain, the hooker there, not knowing which way to go, as Chatfield again switches that ball inside then to O'Brien, just inside the Rovers half of the field. I beg your pardon, the Keighley half of the field, as Jackson takes and tackled 10 metres, gets up and plays the ball. A bit untidy was that play the ball, but there's a gap there. Parker went through that gap, he's got support both sides. Oh, and that's a good tackle by Stevenson again. Looked a bit forward, did that pass, but Rovers certainly have the numbers left and right, and what a complete mess that was by Hull Kingston Rovers. Well, it's hardly surprising if that's the way they're playing in so far this season, that they're at the bottom of the first division, because they've been very untidy. They've had 3 scoring opportunities now, they've denied all, they've refused to take all 3, and Keighley's tenacious tackling, not necessarily a small part in that those mistakes. Steve Hall getting to the halfway line again. Appleby moving the ball across to Dixon, out to Martin Wood. Martin Wood misses out to Phil Ball, gets it to Wayne Race. It's the last one, says Mr. Goltris, as the arm goes up in the air. It's back there, and the man there, Darrell, was Dean Clark standing square, or are my eyes going funny?
He stood at the side of his own man, should have been blown up there. I'll have to have a word with Brian about this.
As it was, Clark managed to get away and get in the way of Keith Dixon. This is Jackson for Rovers then, 10 or 12 metres inside the Cougars half of the field. Ball going outside to O'Brien. O'Brien tackled though, still some 30 metres from the Keighley line. Chatfield again, moving the ball across to Parker. Parker, well, that man must have been in front of the man when he took the ball, when he made a mess of the ball. As it was, Clark picked it up, but the referee adjudging that that ball had in fact been knocked forward. Instructions have gone down from the gantry uphill. They're now going on the field to Clark there. Did you see that, Darrell?
Yeah, just straight on to give instructions.
The instructions go down on the radio from up here, from the far end of the gantry. Obviously, coach George Fairburn has spotted something that he wants Rovers to capitalise upon in the Keighley defence. And Phil Stevenson, that ball going back via the feet. Mr. Goltus in A1 position to see that. Stevie Hall going on his own. Away through the hands of Chatfield, onto Keighley. Keighley's brought down though, some 20 metres inside the Rovers' half. Appleby standing all on his own, punches a ball out there to Dixon, back inside from Keighley to Ball, and Ball gets to the 20 metre line before being tackled. It's the last one. And that ball going out there and chipped over the top for the chase. He's going to be tackled over his own try line, and so it's a drop out. That was good chasing by Keighley, and it was a good little chip over the top there, I believe, by Wayne Race. And certainly Chatfield taking his time about this dropout. That's a good kick. It's straight down the throat of Appleby though, as full back Phil Ball takes on play. Gets almost back to that 20 metre line before being tackled. Ramshaw waits patiently, goes on his own. Steve Hall was coming on the dummy run there outside him. Plays the ball to himself, he's got to be offside. Dwayne Jackson standing at the side of the man. Very unprofessional there, Darrell. There was no way really, I don't think, that Keighley were going to score immediately from there, and gives John Basilou the chance to continue his scoring run.
Yeah, should be 2 easy points here for John. If he takes it, it'll give Keighley the lift that they're really looking for.
More messages now going back into the Rovers' defence from the physios. The bottle being handed, but the message has gone out, there's no doubt about it. But this is John Basilou settling himself down. He's some 14 or 15 metres from the Rovers line. He's a couple of metres to the right hand side of the uprights. Calm as cool as a cucumber, it's through the middle of the post. John Basilou's run continues. It's now 12 months since he failed to score in a game. But we should be looking for some considerable more points from that left boot of Basilou this afternoon in the bid to help Keighley through into the quarter-final of the Silk Cup Challenge. 2 points to nil then, as 15 minutes on the clock. Carlton Farrell lets that ball hit his boot, goes out towards the touchline before regathering, ducks under the first tackle. Martin Wood then on the jink there, trying to go through, but Mike Bibby having different ideas. This is Keighley, head flying back there as the tackle caught the shoulder. And it's Ramshaw onto Appleby. Appleby just sizing up where that ball's going to go. Julian Barkworth, the man who covers it. Appleby chases, doesn't get to him though. Steve Hall misses him as well. Ball played quickly there by Rovers through the hands of Parker. And that's a high tackle by Greg Keighley. He's going to be pulled out. I don't think the injury is anything like it looks like. Greg Keighley says it, and Joe Grimmer pointed and said it hit the shoulder and rode up. And I think, Darrell, the way the player's feet shot out, that might indicate that as well.
Yeah, it definitely caught his top of his chest first, but his mid did make contact with the head, so it's a penalty.
So we'll just see how serious this injury is. I wouldn't mind betting inside 30 seconds that player's driving the ball back in again. But quite indicative, Darrell, those Rovers players are all in a huddle. Now to me that signifies they're very worried.
Yes, they're trying to sort themselves out. He's told Greg just there as Ryan, any more and he'll be away. But like you said, okay, I haven't settled, I don't think, John. I think the game plan's gone a little bit. Yeah.
So it was Wayne Jackson there on the receiving end of that tackle that touched the head area. We shall wait and see just how long it is before he takes the first drive in at the play of the ball. Chatfield coming up then to act as the first receiver. No, he's not. He's going to be there for second one. It's Bibby taking that ball in. 30 metres, 32 metres out from the Keighley line as the ball comes across to Chatfield. This is the man. That's the man who was out prone cold. Not a bad drive in for an unconscious fella. As Rovers then move the ball out, this is O'Brien coming down the touchline side, but can't get away from the tackle of Wayne Race and Ian Gately. Chamberlain putting the ball inside through the hands of Chatfield. Parker having to stretch to catch it. Oh, and that was a mile forward, was that pass, Mr. Golters? Goodness gracious me. Andy was level as well. But this ball out now then to Speckman. Parker switching the ball back inside, and Rovers make a mess of that. But it's the first knock-on that'll count. But really, Darryl, Brian Golters, the referee, he hasn't been doing many First Division matches, and missing forward passes like that, it's hardly surprising, is it?
Well, I looked straight away, John, and actually there was a Keighley play between him and the pass. And you've got to admit, we are very high up here. We're looking really down on the play. He's looking square at it. The Keighley play was in his view.
OK then, so perhaps there's an excuse there for the referee on that occasion, but this is the situation where we usually see forward passes missed at the play of the ball, but we give him the benefit of the doubt on that occasion. Ramshaw looking to go on his own acting half there, but brought down by the Rovers defence. 12 metres or so from the halfway line. Steve Hall taking the ball in. Tried to go inside, but his opposite number, Paul Fletcher there, tackling him 5 metres from the line, from the halfway line, that is. Keith Dixon looks for the left boot. That's a good kick, but well taken by Barkworth. I tell you, Darryl, I'm looking at these kicks, you know. I don't know whether it's because of the height we're up here, but they just don't seem to be going anywhere. They seem to be hanging in the air to me.
Well, like you said at the beginning, John, it is a big ground, and I don't think Keith has quite got the measure of the size of this ground yet. It is such a tremendously long ground, and when you kick deep like that, the player's got acres of room in which to put his eye on the ball, get underneath it and take it with comfort.
So then technically all the advantages should be to Rovers as far as that goes. They know this ground, and as we saw in the first minute how well they played that dead ball area. But that's 5 tackles of the 6 allowed gone as Chatfield puts that ball high in the air towards those posts. Phil ball underneath it, takes it calmly. Referee wave play on there. I can only think the man must have been in front of the ball when he behind the kicker when he set off running there. Martin Wood going on his own from acting half back, looking for a hole round this short side, but there's none appealing. 20 metres out from his own line as Hall gets the ball, runs in. He's tackled though by Andy Thompson. Darren Appleby, a little knock on there. So untypical error there by Darren Appleby. Gives Rovers the opportunity to build an attack from that scrum, but releasing the ball in the tackle there out to Clark. Clark's tackled though and being dragged backwards. Ball played there out to this side. It's taken back in again to Jackson. Still on that 20-metre line as Chamberlain waits at acting half onto Chatfield. Out to Speckman, a long ball out there to that wing, but the number 4 there, Rob Hutchinson, really not showing too much for the experience that he's supposed to have as a player. That ball from Chatfield to O'Brien telegraphs something cruel there. And this is Chatfield again, getting the ball out. Parker chipping the ball through for the chase. He's got to be offside. But the referee actually waved play on though there after Phil Ball actually got up following the challenge. Now surely he should have given a penalty there, Darryl.
I think he was just giving an advantage, thinking that Phil Ball could have made a lot further.
OK. Wayne Race looking for the hole, but 20 metres still is the line that's so elusive to get away from for Keighley. Long ball out there to Keighley. Keighley's got Farrell outside him, but well wrapped up there by the tackling of Fletcher. Stevie Hall running for the gap between the two players there, but there's three of them in actual fact shut the man down. An injury there occurred by Andy Thompson in that tackle as Barkworth picks up that kick through. Wayne Raystow and Andy Stevenson tackling there as Chatfield gets that ball offloaded there by O'Brien. Chatfield got the man inside him. Rovers have got the support, they've got the try here. And he nearly knocked that ball. My words, Martin Wood got to him very quickly there. Not quickly enough though. And I think possibly, Darrell, that was brought about by a collision of three Keighley players right down below us here, wasn't it? Just inside Rovers' half.
Yes, John, there were four players involved in the tackle and the Hull KR player managed to get the ball away. That gave Hull Kingston plenty of numbers against us, and they just went down the wing as we saw.
So that try coming to Dean Clark some 23 minutes into this first half. Chatfield got the opportunity to add the extras. So then Chatfield got the chance of putting the scores up to 6 for Rovers. And that's through the middle, so 6 points to 2, Kingston Rovers lead, 24 minutes on the clock. But really, it's been a time, hasn't it, Darrell? Apart from that one or a couple of forages into the Rovers half that Keighley have been defending this half of the field. Very stoically indeed.
Yes, the defence has been very good, John. Okay, I throw the ball about well, but I like to see Keighley throw it about a little bit more. I know we don't seem to have the possession that we'd like, but and these kicks, I'd like either kick for touch or kick away from the man a little bit more.
That ball's taken on the full by Chatfield then, 15 metres out, the full-back Lydiard coming into the line. And it's tackling time for Keighley now to keep themselves in this half of the field. Rovers are tending to move. Oh, that ball went again, a terrible forward pass, no dearie me. But again, the distance that the referee's away from the action is in fact showing that and making it most difficult for them to judge. But really that one, even the action of the player's arms indicated forward. Parker puts the ball downfield into the arms of Phil Ball. He stops it with the right, then the left foot. Half using Darren Appleby as a foil there to try and create a hole between the two Rovers defenders who are coming up quickly as Appleby now. Ramshaw out to Keighley, back inside to Ramshaw, onto Appleby. Keighley just standing about a little bit at the moment. Well taken there by Martin Wood. I think that ball from Keith Dixon was firing a man wider. Certainly it was with the strength of it. Joe Grimmer driving in now, gets to the halfway line and offloads to Ramshaw. Ramshaw to Dixon. Dixon half through a gap. Well taken there by Carlton Farrell. He's coming back in field though. No support with him this side. He 2 men outside and Rovers frantically calling the defence back as Dixon gets it out to Woods. Wood looks to switch back inside and outside, but it's the last one. We need one up towards the post now, I think, from Dixon. Is it going to be that? No, it was intended as the drop goal. And the substitution already on. It's Andy Thompson who's come off. It's Chris Harrison that's come on for Hull Kingston Rovers. The man injured in the centre of the field, Thompson, you'll recall, in the tackle on Steve Hall. This is Harrison, the man with the clean shirt and the 15 on his back, as Chamberlain gets that ball out 20 metres from the halfway line. Joe Grimmer just helping him a little bit closer by dragging his shirt. And again, Rovers been allowed or been able to offload in the tackle. That's the man who offloaded that created the try, Greg O'Brien. Chatfield running round there. Again, the man almost offloading to full-back Lydiard, but the arms of Joe Grimm are getting round. And Chatfield framing as if to kick there. Clark gets that ball out into touch. So we've got a scrum then, just a couple of metres inside the Hull Kingston Rovers half of the field. Darren Appleby it will be to feed the scrum for Keighley. And that's a penalty to Keighley for, I think, was it the number 10 not packing down?
Yeah, number 10 didn't have his head in.
Dixon then puts that ball into touch. Yeah, I think, Dal, again, going on those touch kicks there, like that one, you've just spotted it. I thought it was. I didn't put me on, just where more. Carlton, Wayne Ray's caught there. So the ball sounds very thuddy, doesn't it? That's, to me, indicates a soft ball.
It sounded softy, that one. Definitely did there, John. Yeah.
Which probably is the reason why these balls don't seem to be going quite as far as they should. But Darren Appleby gets that one out there to Greg Keighley on the far touchline side. He's 20 metres out now. Phil Ball waiting at acting half-back, goes on his own, looks to spot a gap by Hutchinson. Keighley there at acting half-back, not the best of passes from Jason Ramshaw to Martin Wood as Joe Grimmer looking round there to offload. It's the last tackle coming up. Ramshaw gets that ball out to Dixon. It's the wrong foot for a drop goal, so it'll be Wayne Race trying to offload here, does he? Yes. Ball through almost anywhere as needs a little chip and chase, does it, as Steve Hall. He can't kick a ball, but he can throw it away as Gately gets it out now. Keighley keeping this ball alive onto Carlton Farrell and tackle into possession there. Carlton Farrell 5 metres, but Keighley kept that ball well alive. The referee just holding play up slightly there for an injury to a Keighley player there, Darren Appleby, but he's hobbling away. And Carlton Farrell also received a little bit of a knock, but that not necessary. And again, we've got the Rovers physio going on with messages. None of their players injured. Chatsworth gets that ball out then to this near side of the field. Chatfield, I beg your pardon. Craig O'Brien taking play almost to the 20-metre line before being brought down. Chatfield again gets the ball out. Oh, and that well taken by Parker. Nice inside ball as well. John Basilou's coming across, but they've got support left and right. Parker's going in. Parker's in for a try. The referee didn't see where they'd put it down, but the touch judge did, and so did we. And that was all from a well-taken ball that could so easily have gone to ground there in the centre of the field by Wayne Parker, the stand-off, Darrow.
Yeah, it did, John, there, but the one thing in the middle of that there was a pass. It looked forward. Wayne looked like he were going to blow for it. He looked to the touch judge, and Dougie Bowe didn't indicate anything, so let play continue.
And in fact, Darren Appleby, it looks as though he's going to have to leave the field. Darren Appleby left the field. Andy Ayres, who will be taking his place, so I would imagine we'll be seeing Ayres at scrum half, a position which I believe he favours better than the stand-off one which he normally plays in when he's fitting well, fully fitting well. That try then coming just over half an hour into this first half. Chatfield got a difficult conversion attempt here. But that one won it. Two sets of posts side by side, so it's Rovers into double figures then. 10 points to 2 their lead. And I think, if anything, both those tries that Rovers scored were from that little bit of extra pace that they seem to have on the Keighley lads, doesn't it, Darryl?
Both tries, like you say, John, once they got clear, they were clear. You know, Keighley were covering back, scampering back, but they had the legs of them.
Certainly John Basilou got across very quickly and could so easily in fact have caught the man, but Rovers in fact did move the ball to the left hand side, which allowed Barker to go in at the corner. But that little knock on there brings a scrum 10 metres inside the Rovers half of the field. It's Andy Ayres to feed, and again it's the scrum not packed down. Again the head there of number 10, or number 8 in fact, who's now packing on the blind side, out of the scrum. And the two acting halves not standing square there, 8 and 9. 9 certainly a yard to the side of it, the man in front of him. And I think, Darryl, this is something which has become quite predominant, hasn't it? The referees are allowing the players to get away with that.
Yes, John, they're standing a little bit, the second man standing back in no man's land. He's standing about 3 or 4 yards behind the play, which is allowing him to cut across. And obviously if he isn't standing square, he's even more able to get across.
Joe Grimmer managing though there to get that ball out. It's Dixon onto Keighley, but Keighley well tackled, well offloaded as well, as Keighley got Andy Ayres now onto Carlton Farrell. The man's out is Basilou on the wing on his own, unmarked, but in fact possibly in front, as Darryl observed there. It's Greg Keighley now going out there. Oh, Martin Wood's in! Oh, and that was a lovely short ball there from Greg Keighley. Caught the Rovers defence completely asleep. Very susceptible to that short ball there, and it results in a try some 34 minutes into this first half. Darryl, a good one.
Excellent try, John, just what Keighley wanted. Like you said, there's only 5-6 minutes left before half time. Got to hold him out, he's got to convert this as John, then hold him out up to half time, win with a good chance then.
Yes, that's 10 points to 6 now the score. Keighley looking to bring that to 8, hopefully, with John Basilou's boot. And really there's all sorts of problems, I do think, all sorts of problems for this first division outfit. Yes, they do have the extra pace, and I'm not all that sure whether fitness at the end of the day will tell, because the field is, I can imagine it's clingy as that stuff in the centre there. It'll hang on to the boots, and possibly fitness might be the telling factor at the end of the day. Just wait now and see what John can do with this one. The trusty boot answers the question. It's through the centre, so that's 10 points to 8. And 5 minutes left on running time anyway, to half time. And Darryl, just look at the speed that Hulkingston Rovers defence walked back to the halfway line. 50 metres, and I don't think one of them raised a gallop all the way.
No, John, they're in no hurry at all. They're in the lead, they're slowing the pace down to try and suit them, hopefully, and just take it from there. That's what they're after.
Steve Hall there, not able to get up to full pace there, in spite of not having anybody, which probably subscribes to the theory of this heavy field in the centre clinging to the boots. But that's Ian Keighley getting up and playing the ball out to Grimmer. Grimmer offloads there to Wood. Wood's going. Is Andy Ayres outside him as Wood, but Wood's going on his own. Oh, there's a try out for Keighley. John Basilou salutes, and Keighley in the lead. Oh, well, a lovely break there by Martin Wood, taken on there by John Basilou underneath the post. Dare we say it, Darryl? I know it's a long way yet, there's 40 minutes, but it looks as though there could be a turnover very much on the cards here.
I'm hoping so, John. That was excellent football. You can't beat good football no matter which side play it. Fortunately, Keighley playing it just at present. No better than good football. The crowd are on their feet. That far stands alive over there. They really are giving it some stick and thoroughly enjoying this game.
And I thought that Rovers had the outstanding pace, but certainly Martin Wood showed them a clean pair of heels there as he went through. Certainly showed a clean pair of heels. And there's almost a post-mortem underneath those posts now of the Rovers. They've just been there a minute ago. And they're there again. John Basilou converts it. The crowd at the far side where the Keighley contingent are congregated applaud it. And that's a 14-10 scoreline at the moment in favour of Keighley. Chatfield then restarts for Rovers. It's just less than a couple of minutes now to half-time as Steve Hall runs out. Need to hold this this scoreline to half-time or increase on it if possible, but certainly don't need to concede it. We don't want to concede anymore till half-time as Jogram are going in. Ian Gately caught one round the throat there on the second one from the number 8 Jackson. And Greg Keighley now, the last tackle comes up 10 metres, just less inside the Keighley half. That ball thudded downfield to Lydiard in the full-back position, waved on. Andy Ayres just hangs on to the boot there, but the ball allowed to get away in the tackle. Inside the last minute of the allocated 40, plus any stoppages now. Chatfield the man to be given the option there, but Harris the man who took it. Looking to offload, but his colleagues not particularly interested in taking the ball from him. Play goes on there as Chamberlain goes on his own from acting half, gets it back to Harris and on to Chatfield. Speckman the man in possession now. Trying his utmost to milk a penalty there. Mr. Galter's not interested. That ball touching the player's hand as it went through. A knock on there to Rovers. A very, very unenforced error there by, again, that man Rob Hutchinson. Andy Ayres then feeding the scrum as it goes down and it's out to Keighley. Round the back goes Ayres, looking for the hole, but it's not there for him on this occasion. And this is Steve Hall taking that ball in. Parker just clinging tightly to him there as Wayne Race goes on his own, but again another good tackle there by Parker. 20 metres inside the Rovers half as Ayres goes on a run around with, and he don't think he expected that one back, but that was a good ball out under the circumstances, and also an exceptionally good half as far as Keighley are concerned, because that's half-time. The Keighley scores coming from 3 goals from John Basilou, a try to John Basilou and one to Martin Wood, who looks as though he may just be limping coming off the field, and the reply coming from a try to Dean Clark and Julian Barkworth, and just 1 goal to Gary Chatfield. The half-time score there here at New Craven Park in this second round of the Silk Cup Challenge. Hull Kingston Rovers 10, Keighley 14. Well, there you are, you see the arms of the Keighley support in the East Stand, raising their arms in support of the Keighley players who retake the field after the half-time break. The half-time score, remember, 14-10 in Keighley's favour. There'll certainly have been some steadying down in the dressing room, I feel, Daryl, in the half-time for Keighley, and they've got to stick to the task, haven't they, in the second half. They've got all to win. Rovers have got everything to lose.
They've got to stick to the game plan that Peter Adina will give them at half-time, closing Rovers down, stopping them offloading the ball in the tackle, which is where Rovers are dangerous. They've offloading the ball, there's 3-4 minutes in the tackle, and out come the ball, and that's where they've had 2 tries from.
Yeah, so with 40 minutes left before we see who goes into the hat tomorrow morning for the round 3 draw. Deep kick there, and judging by the length of that kick, possibly down at field level, there may just be a breeze in favour of Keighley in this half. But that's 10 metres out there as Rover's been kept down and hopefully kept into this half of the field where they are now, so that Keighley can relaunch themselves as Harrison tackled in possession just outside his own 20-metre area. Chamberlain gets the ball out there via the hands of Speckman to full-back Lydiard. Chatfield, Rovers somewhat bunched in the centre there. Jackson got out there very easy. He went through a gap that just wasn't there, but suddenly appeared. The big fella got through it, and Rovers, it's the last tackle now as Chatfield needs tackling. That ball gone back, in fact, intercepted there as it went on the ground by Carlton Farrell. 3 or 4 Rovers players offside at this side of the referee as the ball goes out to Race. Wayne Race coming back into the centre of the field. He's not going to get anywhere though. Ian Gately standing watching him as now Keith Dixon takes play on. Phil Ball just hesitating there as he gets tackled on the halfway line. Ramshaw, Andy Ayres steps inside, goes his own to Gately. Gately looking to get the low ball underneath there to Joe Grimmer. But this is Ayres again. Ayres running across the face, switches it inside to Martin Wood. Steps down the back of Harley, does Wood. Ball inside there to Ramshaw. But put down there by Keighley. Back to 1 though, says the referee, as Rovers number 10 it was who put that ball down. It's a penalty to Keighley for not allowing the man to get up, in fact stealing the ball as he put it down on the floor. John Vasilou will be called up, and that was a very bad mistake by Rovers. Number 10 it was, Darrell, you spotted him, I didn't. Sorry, Chatfield was it, number 7. Beg your pardon, you spotted him, got a hand to it, didn't he? But what a silly mistake to pinch him from your own post.
Well, I don't know about it being a silly mistake. I think if Keighley had been able to play it quickly, there could have been 6 points there. They're probably taking less of it 2 evils, giving Keighley 2.
So you're possibly calling for a professional foul, are you?
Take it whichever way you want, John.
Mr. Golsis hasn't got the yellow card out, so he didn't think it was that. John Vasilou then steadying himself. Yes, the referee in fact had. John Vasilou gets that through the post. We're just saying though, Darrell, weren't you, that the referee had wiped the slate clean and it was the first tackle. So Keighley had got 6 to go to score from.
Well, 5 more tackles to go, John. Yes, that's the point I was making. So close in, with old Kingston backpedaling. I certainly think Keighley could have worked a try out of that.
As it is, they've got 2, so Rovers now then to kick off towards the river end. Chatfield, the man doing the kick in. Dixon plays the ball with his foot, gets it to Carlton Farrell. Farrell running round but not able to get away from Speckman. Greg Hiley coming forward, gets to 10 metres within the halfway line, but just behind play there. Carlton Farrell receiving attention. That's a good left boot down across field, taken over the far side by the winger, switches it to Lydiard. He juggles with that ball and tackled in possession. And Keighley certainly come out this second half determined to make themselves recognised. And now that these lights are on, Darrell, you just observe this colour clash is getting worse.
Certainly is, John. There's a lot of red down there. When the players are bunched in, it's difficult to see who's who from the top.
Well, certainly that initial tackle there not made properly by Greg Keighley, allowing the man to go on, and Speckman half getting that ball away, but it's the last tackle. Speckman tackled just inside his own half of the field. Chatfield feigns to kick initially. Stevenson it is who picks that ball up, steps inside, half tackled I believe by Chamberlain. No, sorry, it was the standoff, Parker, as Keighley now look back for that halfway line. The cry of Cougars, Cougars go up below us as Andy Ayres gets the ball out to Gately. Ian Gately bursting into the opposition territory. Ramshaw onto Ayres, Ayres out to Dixon, Dixon stepping inside, thinks better of offloading there, but there's well, Jason Ramshaw coming back almost from an offside position there to take that ball as Dixon played it quickly. Referee not saying there was anything wrong, but there's a Keighley player injured there. Martin Wood it is, looks as though he's gone over on his ankle perhaps. Not quite sure whereabouts, which area that's treatment. It looks knee-ish. The referee's not going to allow play to go on, because if he does he'll have to bring that ball infield, Darryl, I would imagine, and that's really giving, I don't know whether it's giving either side a bigger advantage, but certainly it's the last tackle, yes. Martin Wood just slowly getting to his feet. He's going to play the ball himself, and Dixon puts that ball up in the air, testing. Oh, that's a mistake there by Chatfield. The chase is on and Chatfield kicked it on. But again, the colour clash, Darryl, there. We couldn't tell who was who, could we, from up here?
No, we're looking down on them with Rovers with red shoulders and Keighley with red. He just loses them all in a mix. I just hope the camera's picking him up with it better than we can.
And that not the best of kicks from Chatfield. It's John Basilou, he'll take it. Just ducks underneath, but Will doing very well there to pull his foot in, but I would have thought that John would have done a lot better there, trying to take that ball infield on the first instance. However, play now some 22 metres out as Steve Hall bursts through that 20-metre line, looking possibly, Darryl pointing out, saying looking for a drop goal here as Jason Ramshaw, that hits the Hull Kingston player as Ramshaw regathers his own his kick as Joe Grimmer now. Joe Grimmer charges through the first attempted tackle, is flopped on there by the Rovers defender. A ball out there to Jason Ramshaw, burrowing his way for that Rovers line. Dixon got his arm round his back. Oh, and Joe Grimmer knocking on there, and almost, Darryl, ignoring the fact that he'd knocked on and letting the Rovers player pick the ball up.
Yeah, well, that disgusted at dropping it. He nearly didn't touch it, make it dead.
As it is, it's a scrum down, and I don't know what this physio's doing on the field. He's on and off like a jackrabbit. As Chatfield then gets the ball out of that bag. Out of the bag, I'm looking at the physio at the moment, the physio's bag. Tackled in possession then some 12 or 13 metres from their own line. Rovers almost juggling there, but eventually he's stopped. The referee's called held. He plays the ball as going on his own there from acting half as the Rovers defender gets up, plays the ball, and it's Parker offloading eventually into the centre of the field in an option left and right. But his tackle in possession there is the hooker, Chamberlain. Last tackle coming up, says Mr. Golters. Out to Chatfield, he chips over the top for the chase. Phil Ball's the man who takes it, runs around the back of his defence, and well tackled, the 20 metres out, but well taken on the full by Phil Ball. Ramshaw out to Race now. Race gets up eventually, plays the ball to Ramshaw, on then to Grimmer. Grimmer offloads there to Ayres. Ayres half out of the first tackle, but number 11 there, Paul Fletcher, manages to tie him up as Dixon gets the ball. Oh, and that was not the best of balls. In fact, Stevenson had his eye on, and Rovers are going to score. Rovers are going to score, there's no doubt about that. He needs stopping from going further in, but I think that was down there to Andy Stevenson, Darrell. He took his eye off that ball as the pass came out. It wasn't a good pass, but he took his eye off it, seeing the Rovers man coming for him.
That's all he did, John. He took his eye off, he missed the ball, knocked it straight into the Rovers man. And really, if I were George Fairbairn, I'd have a right go at the wing. If he should have scored from there rather than pass it inside. But Rovers try it is.
It is, and even Dean Clark, the man who finished up scoring it, nearly made a breakfast of it because he didn't almost get there. And I think that's a stroke of lady luck as far as Kingston Rovers are concerned, and one of misfortune as far as Keighley are concerned. So Chatfield got this conversion attempt to level the scores. Not to level the scores, I beg your pardon. Yes it is, we'll have it right. That's through the middle. The touch judges hesitated for a while as the ball hung in the air, but Chatfield levels the scores then at 16 apiece. 11 minutes, almost 12 minutes in this second half gone, as Keith Dixon now returns to the centre to restart. Deep kick there onto the try line. Looking to run out, offering the ball, but eventually looks like the full-back Lydiard tackled in possession there. Good tackle there by Stevie Hall. Scrum half Chatfield receiving attention for a knee injury at the back of play. That's the reason the physio's on genuinely this time for, as Chamberlain gets the ball out to Parker. An arm out there, a despairing arm, I hasten to add, Darrell. Nothing else, a despairing arm, wasn't it? Mr. Galtis going to have a word with Joe Grimmer.
Yeah, he just stuck it out. He didn't really make full contact. We'll see what Brian does with him. I think it's just a telling off.
Well, he's certainly having a word with him, and Martin Wood, in fact, having to leave the field following that injury to the knee in the centre area. Paul Moses coming off. The whole Kingston Rovers boo as the referee makes the decision, but I don't know what more they want, Darrell. They've got a penalty. There's nothing else he can do apart from walk him, is there?
Yeah, he could have walked him, but it wasn't bad enough for that job.
No, and I think, in all honesty, had he done so, the disciplinary committee would have not done it, taken any further action. But this is Rovers now then. Keighley got the second substitute on the field, lost the pace of Martin Wood, the creativity of him at loose forward. But Paul Moses, he's a little tackler, he's a little furret. Speckman moving the ball there from Parker. 15 metres out then as he struggles to get up to his feet. Chatfield moving the ball across to Parker. That ball going astray, but being lost in the tackle, in fact, I believe. Has Keighley regained it? They have. The ball was lost. It was a little for it. Moses in there pinching that ball as it was put down on the floor. And there's a little bit of venom coming into this Hill Kingston Rovers tackling now, particularly from the third man as he drops. No, they're picking the little fellas. That was a forward pass. This is Moses. That's Andy Ayres. He gets to the halfway line. Sorry, it's Keith Dixon. I beg your pardon. This is Andy Ayres though. Threatens to offload. Goes through the gap. He's got the support. Phil Ball's there. Phil Ball's got support as well. He's been held down now. He needs the 10 minutes, does that man. He was held down for all he was worth. It's Steve Hall, it's the last tackle, it's thrown back. Carlton Fallow's got the ball, and the Ayres has got it. He's hung on here. Has the ball gone on to Keighley? On, Dixon knocks the ball back, but Rovers regather. Nothing wrong in that. The ball was kept alive. OK, Rovers have finished about 10-15 metres further upfield than they might have done from a handover. But that was good play by Keighley, hoping to keep the ball alive. They did up to that. It'd been spilled at the very last, and they'd every possibility of scoring because of it. Andy Ayres then doing the tackle with Joe Grimmer there. And that's certainly what... That was not a stolen ball by any chance. Rob Hutchinson threw that ball out, Darryl, didn't he? We can see that plainly from here.
He lost the ball trying to hit Joe Grimmer.
Well, OK, he lost it trying to hit Joe Grimmer. Mr. Galter's totally conned there. He bought a full crate of milk there. Rovers then, as Chamberlain gets the ball out to Harrison, just inside the Keighley half. That's Jackson. Midfield then, almost 10 metres inside as the hooker Chamberlain goes on his own from acting half. Chatfield. Suspicion again of a forward pass as he did a run round there, a run forward with Wayne Parker, but plays some 22 metres out from the Keighley line. Ian Keighley underneath that tackling, so he's out for... That's going to be back to on. Keighley defence needs to get back. Joe Grimmer wandering back there. And there's a big gap now, there's an enormous gap there. But Rovers choose to move the ball across through to Chatfield over the far side. Offloaded there, Chatfield regathers, manages again to offload. Out there to Clark on the far side, he needs covering, does that man. Eventually he's covered. 10 metres out then on the far side of the field as Chatfield gets the ball across to Parker. Parker to Clark, it was a delayed pass. Hoping to draw and open the gap, which was there, but he couldn't take advantage. There goes the kick, and that's Moses tackled over his own line. In fact, I thought he perhaps grounded it this side, but he was dragged back over, and that's another knee injury. Well, there's one or two knees probably being dropped on Daddle in these back tackles, I'm not sure. What do you think?
Well, they're certainly going in late, a little bit later, Hutchinson, just to confirm the tackle. I think Mr. Galtos wants to have a word about it.
It's rather suspicious, isn't it, that the three Keighley players who have left the field have all left with knee injuries, all sustained in tackles. Full back then, Lydiard just waiting there for that ball to settle down before regathering it from the dropout from under the post. 16 apiece to score, remember, as Chamberlain goes on his own. 18 minutes in the second half already gone, 22 to go. As Harrison now takes the ball in for Hull. Only about 3 yards back there, the Keighley defence taken by the referee. Oh, and that was bad tackle. Oh, forward pass there, a mile, an absolute mile was that pass to Bibby. He couldn't hang on to it though, but, well, Mr. Galtus was bang on the spot. He may have been, again, obstructed as far as players were concerned, but that pass to Bibby was really forward. Andy Ayres then gets that ball from the base of the Keighley scrum, and there we could see, Daddle, I think Parker did exactly there on Andy Ayres what's been causing these injuries. He knelt on the knee as he went down. That ball pinched out of the tackle. Yeah, I think we spotted the culprit for the knee injuries. The knee going down on the knee in the tackle. Certainly Parker did it on Ayres there, no question at all. Moses then operating there. And it's Greg Keighley, bounced off by the shoulder charge in that tackle. Andy Ayres then on to Joe Grimmer. Joe Grimmer just turning his shoulder as he goes in there. Moses on to Ramshaw. Ramshaw sizing up the opposition as he runs at them. Parker, one of those who was trying to get round as Ayres now. Dixon, oh, not the best of passes, well picked up there by Phil Ball. Left him in a very delicate position on the halfway line then as Moses looks to go on his own, gives the ball to the big fella Keighley. Round to support the man in possession, but it's the last one coming up. 15 metres inside the Hull Kingston Rovers half as Andy Ayres pumps that ball up in the air and it's out on the full, just. So we've got a handover 20 metres in, there's 2 balls on the field. Rovers wanting to make a substitution, it's Fletcher that's coming off and Gary Brown coming on.
Rovers substitution, Gary Brown replacing Paul Fletcher.
So play will resume then 15 metres from the halfway line. Jackson going without the ball there. Keighley regather. Joe Grimmer who gets the hands to the ball. Moses on to look forward there from Moses to Steve Hall. Moses again operating the acting half as Keighley again stamps the left foot into the ground as he tries to bust that tackle. Out now to Ayres. Ayres does the run round with Jason Ramshaw. Ramshaw going for a drop goal and no, he still didn't get it airborne. I think the drop goal expert, Daryl, is probably Keith Dixon, not Jason Ramshaw, and that's twice we've seen Ramshaw have a goal that's barely got above grassroots level.
Yes, Keith should have stood back there, Jason should have found him and popped it over. 16 all, 19 minutes to go, a point could win this.
Certainly could, and as it is, it's Hull Kingston Rovers then foraging the way back to the halfway line. Ball out then wide to that far side. Certainly Rovers, as Darrell just observed, look much more dangerous when they are in possession. A long ball out there, they have the numbers again over here as Lydiard. Forward pass again, the touch judge right on station there, he could indicate that for sure. But no, but perhaps Mr. Goltis has said he doesn't want to until there's that long ball out there to... and it's Rovers Speckman this time, the last tackle. One of the Rovers players having a quick word with Greg Keighley, but it's Chatfield offering to throw this ball up anywhere in desperation as that ball going flat across again. That hits the Keighley boot. Steve Hall does well to get his enormous height down to that ball running along the ground, and Keighley coming back now. Andy Ayres getting to the halfway line. But really, I've never seen such a bad example of a forward pass under the nose of a touch judge as that one. And another Keighley player injured, or slow to get to his feet. Jason Ramshaw it was. Joe Grimmer 10 metres inside as Moses gets the ball. That ball knocked out with the tackle of the arm. Rovers player managing to regather. Paul Moses having a bit of an altercation there with Parker, and Carlton Farrell also going into, I thought, sort him out. Wisely getting back into position on the field, because that's where the game will be won. It won't be won by punching and fighting, that's for sure. Keighley all offside in the centre of the field there. Mr. Golchus allowing it to go though. Still a couple of metres inside the Rovers half of the field. And that ball going to Chatfield, but the fella needs stopping. He's got support outside, he's got support inside. He's going to score. And he dropped that ball, Darrell. No, I just didn't see. I saw the ball bounce back up, but the post, in fact, was occupying the view between me and the ball. But that was the score. That's the score that's been threatening all the time. And the man with the cleanest shirt on the field, Chatfield, been on all game. He created it. The referee now is calling to this touchline side to the spare referee. I'm not sure what's going on, but I suspect he may well be talking about the way in which these players are come. No, he's not. He's injured himself. That's a sad sight to see, really, Daryl. Look, yes, in fact, the fourth official, John Whitlam, the referee, Brian Goltus, has pulled a hamstring by the look of it. And that's, yes, you can see he's limping now, look, Daryl.
Yeah, he's definitely got a limp there. And unfortunately, if anybody makes a break and he's got to be up there with it, he won't be able to do it.
Well, that's a very sad thing to see, really, but this is Chatfield looking to convert that try that's been threatening all the time. And well, do Rovers deserve to win, or do they deserve to win, Darrell, with an abortive attempt of a goal conversion like that?
Yeah, I think it was just going to be easy, just to put it down and kick it. Put it down and miss.
And I think, in all honesty, that's the way that this side has treated this game from the word go, until they saw that Keighley could score, and in fact did, and took the... Well, that ball, again, that's that flat ball, Darrell, that sounded so bad. Keighley then, that's Paul Moses, and there's the last man in the tackle. The referee really should do something about that. The flopper's not allowed. It was Clark who went in late and flopped. 20 metres out then as Keighley come forward. Andy Ayres, Jason Ramshaw through the gap by the referee is Ramshaw. There's no support with him though. The referee, Mr. Goldsworth, is struggling. He's hopping on that right foot. He's really struggling to keep up. He's looking to the touch judge this side for the man to come and help him, but this is Keighley now. Andy Ayres going for the gap. Andy Ayres going, he offloads, but the ball knocked back. John Basilou in possession now for Keighley. The last one comes up this time though, in the set of 6. Kick through there by Dixon, well taken there by the Hull Kingston defender. And I suspect really that unless this leg really breaks down as far as the referee is concerned, he'll have to wait for a stop in play, Darrell.
Well, he can stop it actually, John, like he can for any injury, if he considers it serious enough for not to be able to keep up with play.
So then it's Rovers defending this lead, which stands 4 points in their favour at the moment. Kick forward downfield then by Hull Kingston. There's definitely a wind down there at the backs of Keighley. That ball really didn't get any distance at all. Stevenson going on his own from acting half, 5 metres inside the Hull Kingston Rovers half of the field. We've got 12 minutes left of normal time. And really, this touch judge again should have been on there, because there was face rubbing going on like fun there by the number 8. I do think that the touch judges certainly have let down the referee on more than one occasion this afternoon. As Keith Dixon gets on to Keighley, but Keighley well hit there in the tackle. Last one coming up. Parker offside as the ball put high in the air as Dixon chases his own kick. Well taken by Lydiard, the fullback. Well met by Dixon and Moses. Dixon hitting the man first. He was still onside. Oh, and he got away there. This is an almost hopeless situation. As full ball, not going to catch that man. And Keighley found wanting on the defence at the far side. As we suspected right from the beginning, they were going to be found wanting well wide because of the additional pace. But that was a bad tackle, a bad miss. I think it was Ian Keighley who missed the man, Darrell. I'm not too sure. I was just looking for it settling down at that stage. But that's a disaster as far as Keighley are concerned.
Certainly is, John, with only a few minutes left, as you said. They should have held them out there. A good kick, good tackle, and then they relaxed. They've done all the hard work. They got Hull Kingston back inside the 20 and then relaxed and let them come all the way. A disaster.
Well, there is one thing for certain that can be said. Certainly the game's not over yet. It's certainly well on its way. There's just 10 minutes left. It's well on its way to being completed. This should see Hull Kingston Rovers 10 points in the lead, but Chatfield missed one from here a moment or two ago, but I do think he'll probably be keeping it a little more calmly this time. But there's one thing you can say for sure: Hull Kingston Rovers certainly know they've been in a game this afternoon. Chatfield making no mistake this time, and I think the referee now is going to make this change. He's going to call both captains together, I would believe, to let them know what's happening. Well, it just shows you how observant, Darrell, the crowd are below. There's some Hull Kingston Rovers people down below are saying get him off, and the referee is actually telling him exactly what's happening. That just shows you how much spectators watch a game, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do, John. A lot of them watching blinkers. The line's going the right way now. It's to call both captains in, introduce the new referee to them. No matter who it is that who comes on, he's got to introduce, he's got to tell him that he's going off, and he's going to be refereeing, and he's on the game on.
Sad sight then, seeing a referee having to leave the field. It's obviously bad because he realised that the pace of this game is causing him the problems, and that's a good kick down, but well taken by Chatfield on his own try line. 26-16 the score, and it's only this last 5 minutes really that Hull Kingston Rovers have got the noses in front to mean anything substantial. It was basically two mistakes on that far side. The initial one, I believe, remember, by Andy Stevenson, and the second one there by a missed tackle by Ian Gately, giving Hull Kingston 10 points. But inquests apart, the game's still got 10 minutes to go. It could be anything happening. John Whitlam, the man who's taken over in the middle from Brian Goltis, as the kick goes over, and Keighley were obviously short of the man in the middle there. There was a full-back back, but there was no Bobby. Jason Ramshaw just making sure that man wasn't going to go any further. A little knock on there, missed by the referee. Chatfield certainly knocked the ball on there. The kick through there and the chase. Phil Ball takes it, lays down. He made a voluntary tackle there. And Keighley coming away. Wayne Race stepping round, needs to step back inside, but Paul Fletcher, the man, certainly Fletcher back on the field. I thought he'd left once, I missed him coming back on, and the referee telling Hull Kingston Rovers they're offside, and well, Mr. Goltis has been allowing that infringement. Mr. Whitlam not wanting to know, and certainly pushing Rovers back into their own half. That kick, Paul Moses being told where to take it from, still didn't take it where he was told, but Greg Keighley left with the distributing job there, as looking for the support. This is Steve Hall. 10 metres inside. I also detect a slight limp on Ian Gately as he was coming back there. Andy Ayres again looking. We were looking for a good game, big game from Andy, but he's just drifted out again. But this is Joe Grimmer. Joe Grimmer bouncing on. Oh, Moses takes it. Paul Moses collides with the post, but he scores. Oh yes, but there's a Keighley player flat out. Joe Grimmer taken out as the ball was offloaded there. He was taken out, no question about that. As he parted with the ball, a Rovers player took him out. But what a super try there by substitute Paul Moses. Cracker.
Excellent try. I thought we were going to back in the post there, but it's certainly brought this game alive now. If John can kick this, Keighley are back in it. There's not that long to go now. We're probably talking 6 minutes at the most. Keighley can still do it. Just a point, whoever does win on today's game, I should imagine most of the sides will be looking forward to having either of these sides there. I just wonder who's going to have the hand in the freezer tomorrow then.
With the cold ball, you mean? I don't know. We'll see. But John Basilou drops that back down to 4 points the gap.
First one scorer for Keighley, John Wazilow.
Yes, Darrell just making a little side bet there on the look of the draw tomorrow, that whoever in fact wins today, he's putting his money on the fact that they will be drawn away from home. Now there's something to think about. £26 points to 2 as Chatfield restarts for Hull Kingston Rovers, puts the ball into no man's land there. I think really Keighley were expecting that ball to come right down to the try line. Certainly must be some sort of a wind down there holding that ball up. Andy Ayres then onto Ian Keighley. Three tries, 5 goals to Keighley, 5 tries, 3 goals to Hull Kingston Rovers. 4 points the difference. And 4 minutes running time left as Andy Ayres looks to step off his left foot to get through the hole. The last tackle comes up as the referee holds his arm in the air. Dixon just chooses to chip over the top there. Chatfield the man. I don't think that man's been on his back all day today, has he, Darrell? Probably that's the first time that he's got the back of his shirt dirty. He's been allowed to distribute the ball and he's been running round the back out of the way all the time. Hiding really, hasn't he?
I don't know so much hiding, John. He's had a good game for me. I had him Hull Kingston's man of the match because of the way he's distributed and organised them. But Keighley's giving too much room.
Yeah, when I said hiding, I really meant sort of using the men in front of him to protect himself, not so much keeping out of the way. And there you are, he's running round them again. And he's very clever at running across and offloading when the hole appears. But the man of the match is adjudged by the press today. It's the Silk Cup man of the match. It doesn't go to one side in particular. John Basilou now. John Basilou going to open his legs. He's going to step inside. He's going to go. John Basilou's going to score. Down the back. Oh, Master scores a level again. Well, would you believe it? Out of nowhere, Keighley score there out of nowhere. They level the scores. It looks in fact as though Martin Wood is going to come back on. It's Joe Grimmer who's going to have to come off. And my goodness me, we've got a replay on our hands, Darrell. We've got 2.5 minutes on the clock, but I've every faith in John Basilou's left boot here.
Well, let's hope so, John. Let's hope he calms himself down. Don't let the occasion get to him. Take it steady. He's kicked him from this distance before. It's well within his range. Let's hope he can do it again.
Well, my words, it's certainly what a nerve tingler this is. I'd just like to see how many of the people on the Keighley bench and in the Keighley crowd. Well, there you go. That shows you, Darrell, how much the press know about a game. They've actually given it to the Hull Kingston Rovers hooker Chamberlain. I suppose he's operated well round the acting half-back, but certainly Chatfield have got to be in with a chance, and so there must have been a couple of Keighley players as well.
Yeah, they had, John. I mean, Keith Dixon's had a reasonable game, really, when you think about it. He's done some excellent kicking. He's put the pressure on them and all that. He's distributed quite well. But Chatfield stood out, really. I can't understand it, really, why they haven't given him it.
But this is a pressure kick, if ever there was one. The knuckles are white on the veranda here. It looks good. It's there. It's there. Oh, look at the crowd at the far side. Just look at the crowd at the far side there. They're going absolutely hilarious. That's not the right word, I'm sure, but that's what they're doing. They're celebrating. This time, Hull Kingston Rovers, for the first time in the game, they've run all the way back to the middle, but there's just 1 minute left on the clock. And that ball knocked back there needs to be taken, and taken tightly. We've got less than a minute on the clock now as a famous victory is in sight for Keighley. They lead 26-28 at the moment. The upset's still there on the cards. They're going for the drive. They're looking possibly for a penalty and a replay. Hull Kingston looking to milk the penalty. Mr. Whitlam's not interested though. as Chatfield gets the ball out to the far side. Keighley need to defend like they've never defended in their lives before. Chatfield now moves the ball out, good tackling there, but it's offloaded in the tackle, inside there to the substitute, but it's the last tackle coming up. Brown gets up and plays the ball as Speckman gets it out, the numbers over at the far side, they're going in, there's another try, the referee says yes, the referee says it's a try, and Rovers have pinched this. My goodness me, how they need to celebrate. They have stolen it, but that was, the touch judge was on station there, Darrell. I think the ball went down as well before the flag post went down. But my goodness me, can't they consider themselves lucky? 30 points to 28. That's the score. I'm afraid that looks as though it's how it's going to finish with 30 seconds into stoppage time. But what a game this has been.
An excellent game, John. Fortunately, it looks like it's going to be a disappointment for Keighley. But they can hold their heads up here. They had him there, that last 30 seconds. The one tackle missed all over. But good game, excellent game.
Well, the goal kicker will take all the time in the world here, I'm sure. And I think really it was just the sheer weight of numbers over the far side there that caught Keighley. The sliding defence has slid well all afternoon. It didn't slide as it might have done there, and they've certainly taken advantage of Hull Kingston Rovers of that far side of the field when they've moved the ball quickly. Chatfield then, I don't think he'll care anyway which way this ball goes. Nowhere near, and it just shows, doesn't it, that the urgency that they show. Well, Keighley can look sad on the day, Darrell. I don't think there's any doubt about it. They're not the third division side. Hull Kingston Rovers are certainly not a first division side on that show, and I think the best of the credibility, without any shadow of a doubt, has got to go to Keighley Cougars.
Certainly has, John. They've played really well, top class football. They haven't just died, they've really stuck to the guns. They were dead and buried with 10 minutes left. They came back with 2 tries. Fortunately, they just couldn't hang on for that last 30 seconds. Otherwise, it'd been a tremendous victory.
And all that, the tremendous effort there put in by the Keighley lads. Not to forget, of course, the fantastic touchline conversion by John Basilou, insufficient to give Keighley the trip that I certainly believe they so firmly deserve into the third round bag in the morning, but not to be. That's history. But Hull Kingston Rovers, they will never have a harder game as long as this cup competition goes on this season, that is for sure. The 2 sets of players then come off, warmly applauded by the crowd. I'm not sure whether it's the whole crowd who are applauding their players or in fact the Keighley side. It's certainly all Keighley people down here, but tremendous plausibility and credibility for the third division. Excellent display by Keighley. Don't deserve to go in there as the losers, but Lady Luck has it other ways.